But I lost love. But I lost love for Jay. I lost love for the game. That was the thing. People
Do
say,
you remember the names of all 5 guys? Of course you do.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us.
But, well, of course, first loss was to Alexis Arguello.
And for those listening, holy shit, did Alexis Arguello have a right hand?
One of the greatest fighters of all time.
Unbelievable.
Greatest punchers.
And a weird style. Almost stands straight up and down. Very bizarre.
Yeah, and
good guard. Very weird.
And very deceptive. Very deceptive. People thought he was easy to hit. He just slipped and slide a little bit. And he never really got caught. Yeah. And the thing about Alexis, though, I thought I was catching him at the right time. I just, because he started steamrolling for me. From that fight against Norman Goins, I fought ESPN against Al Ford. I win that fight. It got me my first network fight on CBS, May 16th of 81. And I beat Jorge Kid Dynamite Morales for the NABF Lightweight Championship, which at that time, the 2 minor titles, NABF and USBA titles, meant something. So if you got one of those, you were lying for a title shot.
Right.
So
you knew after beating that Kid Dynamite.
Yeah. Then I defended it one time in July. I fought May. Now this is July. And I defended against Jose Luis Ramirez from Mexico, who's ranked number 3 in the world. And he just got done fighting Alexis, and he lost a 10-round non-title fight in Miami by split decision.
That's Arguello's hometown. So he's fighting in Arguello's backyard.
Right.
So
I thought
it's a real guy you're fighting.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, put it this way. He came to Youngstown, Warren, Ohio, which is the next town over from Youngstown, Warren, Ohio, because he didn't feel it. There was a problem. He had 53 wins at that time. He had 53 wins, 3 losses, and like 2 draws.
I don't have 53 anything.
I was 19-0. They would
Alexis Arguello.
Right. Lex Arguello was the first guy to beat me.
Who else? Without a story, just give me names.
No. And there was Livingstone Bramble. Beat me twice. Beat me for my title, and then he got the decision in the rematch.
So we beat you twice.
Yeah. Then I came back.
Do you think you got robbed in that fight?
Well, I beat him in that fight, and even Dick Wolf. Remember Dick Wolf?
Yes.
Right, for the Daily News, who was one of the toughest guys. He was one of the hardest critics on me. Said I never knew blood scored points because Ray Mancini surely won that fight.
You were a bloody mess in that fight.
That fight, yeah. That was
okay. Who else beat you? You got.
And then I retired after that year. But I came back in '89. Let me give you this rundown. And then I fought Hector Camacho.
You lost to Camacho?
I beat Camacho easy. I beat him easy.
Not according to the scorecard.
Yeah, no. 116, 112 on one card, and then 114, 113 on the other 2. You kidding me? And now, even one of the judges...
Just give me another name, because I'm leading up to something. Give me another name.
And then I came back in '92 after another, 4 years, and Greg Hagen beat me. And that was it. That was my last fight.
All right. So your losses, Alexis Arguello, Livingstone Bramble twice, Hector Camacho, Hagen. Out of those 4 guys, 5 losses. One of these, I'm positive, was fixed.
Oh, the Camacho fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Camacho fight was.
When his hand gets raised, do you immediately think this is fixed?
Well,
or do you have to be careful what you say?
No, I think I'm going to tell you the background.
Because I'll call fucking Furpo to bust some shit up right now. If anybody's got a problem with this shit, you come meet me at Will Rogers, lifeguard stand number 8. Because I'll throw right now. I don't give a shit.
Jay, when I fought Camacho, I'd been away from it. We had like a grudge, man. But I retired before we ever got to fight in our prime. But people came back and 30 years were offered, and I said, I won't never fight. I don't want to come back. I'm not interested. I would only come back for Camacho. Finally happened.
And this is because you hated Camacho.
I didn't care for him at all, Brett.
Why?
I hate strong word. I just didn't like him at all.
Because you don't like Puerto Rican.
No, I'm a big fan of Spanish music and Spanish food. Why not?
Just not Spanish fighters named Macho.
Not Hector.
You can't be macho and be 135 with a Jerry curl.
I used to call him Nacho.
Nacho?
Because he was a cheese champion to me. But
he was cheese.
I did.
But you know what? He could have been one of the greatest of all time.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Since then, after we've become good friends, and I'm going to tell you the truth, he is a hell of a fight. It was one of the greatest fights.
I mean, he started at like 115, didn't he?
He is one of the greatest fights.
No,
he
started like
130.
Didn't he start way? No. I mean, when he started.
I think 126. Though. He never went that light.
He just ate and drank and partied his way out of the.
But he was a hell of a fighter. When he's one of the top 5 Puerto Rican fighters of all time, and that says a lot because.
Panama Lewis.
No,
who's the guy that fought that beat Duran? He was Puerto Rican. He came in with a straw hat.
Oh, you know about Benitez.
What about Trinidad?
Oh, but Camacho did beat Duran later on. They're both about They're both about 50 pounds over their weight, but Camacho got Duran. We got a decision of Duran.
What was it about Camacho that you didn't like?
Just how he tied. He's just how he tied. Not even something. When you guys see guys flash, a lot of flash. I thought, and I used to watch. We used to train in the same gym once in a while. He'd come down and train. I trained at Times Square Gym, which is my home gym.
And where's that?
Times Square, baby, right there, baby, right there.
Give me a little
42nd and Broadway, right
it's
there.
Still there.
Right? Well, no, they tore down. It's the Condé Nast building now.
Let me finish. It's still there in my heart.
It's a Wiener Schnitzel now.
I know why you didn't like Camacho. Because when you see a guy with that much flash, and Camacho didn't have knockout power.
No.
Camacho would point the shit out of you.
Yeah, slap you around.
And he'd slap you around, and he'd point the shit out of you, and he'd wiggle his ass, he'd fix his hair, and he'd waggle his feet. And for a guy like you that earned his way up with no flash, you think to yourself, and I'm putting words in your mouth, and you can tell me I'm wrong, you tell me to go pound sand. You go, that's not the way it's supposed to go, and I'm going to fix it.
And he's
That's
the guy
good,
that
but-
started all that frilly shit on your trunks, too, I think, Hector.
Yeah, right. Nobody else was wearing that stuff at
I know,
the time.
he started it.
Yeah, he started wearing that stuff.
So am I right that you,
No, you're right. You're right, James.
as a people's champion, like a Ray
I'm
Mancini,
careful how he acted in
you
the
don't
ring.
like it. And
No.
as a guy, like you really are a guy that you were hungry. It wasn't a way to get out of the ghetto.
No.
It wasn't a way, to get reconnected with your father who you never knew and
Right.
everybody was on crack. For a guy that just loved the art, the science of boxing, there's a right way and a wrong way.
That's right.
And you thought he was doing it not only the wrong way, but you thought he was disrespecting the sport that gave you so much.
My man, he got it down, man. You got it down.
That's why I was so
Yeah.
clipped with you earlier. Like, no, I'm leading up to something.
No.
Now, Livingstone Bramble, I don't know if that fight was fixed, but I do know one thing. It's hard to beat a guy that practices voodoo. He was one of the scariest, weirdest guys I've ever watched fight.
You know
and
what?
I have a Livingstone Bramble story for you.
Well, funny story about Livingstone.
He won last comic standing. No, sorry, go ahead.
Since then, he's, for the book, when the book comes out, he has one of the best chapters in there, and he speaks very highly of him, which I always
He's an incredible fighter.
Good, we got to be good friends after.
I would much rather watch Livingstone Bramble fight 10 times in a row than watch Camacho fight.
Right.
He would grind it out.
But our style is made for a perfect fight because
Yes.
he was a counter puncher, and I come forward, and he'd stand there and go toe to toe with you.
I used to run around Verona Lake in Verona, New Jersey when I wrestled in high school. And Herschel Walker was in the USFL for the New Jersey Generals.
Jersey.
And every day we'd run in opposite directions. I'd go counterclockwise, he'd go clockwise. It was about a 3-mile run. And
Did you guys ever switch?
No.
Okay.
I always went counterclockwise. I was
Okay.
trying to turn back time and get my childhood back. Here's the thing. We agreed. He said, man, we should pass each other. We should all run together. So we start running in the same direction. One day, him and I, it's after Christmas, so it's got to be January. And the snow on the ground, it's cold as balls, and we're jogging. And a guy comes towards us. We thought it was a child, like a runaway. No shirt on, running towards us with this weird scarf. And we
Clockwise
see
or counterclockwise?
At this point, he was going. I think I probably acquiesced to Herschel.
Okay.
And so now we're running
Just
clockwise.
curious. Just getting the facts
Acquiesce.
straight.
Look at these
I
98
know.
cent words he's using.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So from far
The
away, we
Reader's
think there's
Digest.
like a runaway child from Bloomfield or somewhere, it gets closer and closer. Little black guy, about 5'5", built like a brick shithouse, like one of the most beautiful bodies you've ever seen, goes by. No shirt on, sweatpants, boxing shoes, and a fucking boa constrictor around his neck. And I go, what the fuck was that? And he goes, that's Livingstone Bramble. Livingstone Bramble would run from Newark, New Jersey, up Bloomfield Avenue, go to the park, go around it, and have to get back before his boa choked him out. How the fuck are you going to outlast a guy like that?
Jesus.
Now, have you ever run with livestock around your neck? Have you ever trained with
Well,
animals?
how far was that?
That's probably a 10-mile run.
Jesus, man.
And he leave the house, and as soon as he leaves the house, that snake starts choking him out. Man, it's cold. Bro, I'm telling you, when I tell you it was like, if it
Are
was
you sure it
40
was a real snake?
No. I'm not sure if it was
I
a
don't
real
think
snake,
so.
but I remember anytime I saw him fighting, he just scared the shit out of me like he was a voodoo. Wasn't he Jamaican?
No, he was from St. Croix.
What did I say?
Jamaican. He was.
I thought I said St. Croix.
But yeah. But the point is
that an island too?
That's on the
you gonna
island.
break my balls
yeah,
over
man. Yeah, man.
All right, so's England.
And
All right.
And,
So you really, when they say, and the winner was it a unanimous decision, Camacho?
No, split. I told you one judge made me 116 and 112. I'm going to tell you a story about the Camacho. That's what I'm telling you. You asked about it fixed. 116, 112, the other two, 114, 113. Now.
Hold on. I don't think the listeners caught that. You're going fast because.
116, 112, I win.
116, 112 for you.
Right. On one judge.
One judge says you won the fight
by 4
handily.
Rounds. By 4 rounds.
4 rounds.
Easy.
That's a handy win.
The
other two have it.
114 and 113 for Camacho.
That's an eyelash. That's
right.
1 round difference in the cards. These two guys.
Now, all three gave me the last. Everyone gave me the last 3 rounds except the one judge gave Camacho the last round, which was even, and by giving him the last round, which he ran, he did nothing the last round, gave him the decision.
Were you thumping him?
Oh, he ran all night. I mean, it wasn't a great fight. It was a good fight because all he did was run and hold and clutch grab. They asked Mills Lane. They said, Mills.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, and Mills, they said, who do you think won the fight?
You're going to Mills Lane?
Yeah, I know you could do that. They said, who do you think won the fight? And Mills said, I'm not gonna second judge the judges. That'd be Bush. He said, but if Mancini ain't in there tonight, there ain't no fight. So he said it without saying it.
Yeah.
Now, cut to one of the judges. I've become good friends with him. And
one of the judges that had it for Camacho.
One of the judges that is Camacho.
Okay, who will remain nameless.
Well, I'll think so that I remember his name. Nah,
we get a lot of names in this podcast.
Nah. And we've gotten to be good friends. And since then, he comes to L.A., and every time he comes to L.A., he calls me, and we get together for lunch and everything. And the first time he did it, he said,
if I was him, I'd make him pay every time.
he said, when the first time he said, look, he said, yeah, I mean,
he brought it up or you brought it up?
He brought it up. He said,
that's fishy right there that a judge goes, hey, nice to see you. Listen, about that fight.
He says, I got to tell you, I was a little nervous because I know people threatened guys from Youngstown were threatening me, telling me the guys from Youngstown were going to come
Youngstown,
see me.
by the way, is a huge mob town for those of you not familiar with Youngstown.
But and my guy's from Chicago, but he said, man, guys from Chicago even give me grief. He said,
Chicago's a big mob town too, Dan.
Is it?
Here's what he said. But here's what I said, look, you know it was business. I know it was business. You did business. I understand that. He said, well, going back and looking at the fight now, he said, yeah, you won that fight. He said, but at the time I said, please, you ain't got to tell me that. We know.
And it's not making you feel any better.
No, it ain't.
It makes you feel worse.
Jay, this is a true story here. About a month after the fight, I get a call from a friend of mine who's actually the president of Sahara Hotel. He says, what are you doing? Can you come in and see me tomorrow? Can you fly over? I said, sure. He said, I want to talk to you. I fly over next day. We go to lunch. He says, I just want to let you say, you know what happened, don't you? Stop. He said, with the Camacho fight. So what are you talking about? He said, we all know you won the fight. You won it. He said, but you couldn't get the decision. So what are you talking about? He said, and this at the time, I was a 3-1 dog. He said, there was so much money bet on me.
3-1 underdog.
Right. And there was so much money bet on me. When the Camacho got the decision, they rioted the town. People were already.
Where was the fight?
Reno, Nevada.
Okay.
Reno.
They'll riot over anything in Reno.
Events.
Don't give yourself that much credit. Reno, they'll riot over anything.
Yeah, but the people.
No diet Sunkist? Fucking do this place!
But people were running to the casinos. A lot of them weren't even here for the decision. When they wouldn't pay them, they said, no, come on. People said, you're lying. And they actually, in the casinos, they were in fights. It was bad. I found out, they said, because there's so much money bet on me, he says, if you got the decision, it would have broke that town. It would have hurt that town. He said, now, if you would have had the fight here in Vegas, we could have handled it. He said, but it would have broke that town.
And if you knocked them out, there's really nothing anybody can do about it.
Exactly. He said, so we want to let you know, we all know you won the fight, but you couldn't get the decision. You just couldn't get it.
Wow.
He said, so he says, you understand, don't you? I said, hey, look, it don't make me feel any better. Don't make it right. Here's what it is. I had lunch. I went home.
Did you ever? Were you ever asked to take a dive?
No. Jay, those.
How
things,
did you escape that?
Because really, they don't. Those things, those are in old James Cagney, John Garfield movies. You know what I mean? I mean, really, they don't do that anymore. It's too sophisticated.
You don't think Liston took a knee for?
Liston, yeah. But you're talking about in the 80s, 90s. Now,
you're talking about ever.
No.
Now it just seems way easier to touch up a judge than
there
it is
you go. That is too sophisticated. They don't. When you ask the fighters nothing.
The fighters are never alone.
Every judge is on every judge is on one of the promoters, payroll. And if they don't judge it a certain way, they won't. Good
So the
fight.
big thing about fixing a fight is someone has to benefit.
Right.
So in your case, the town of Reno benefited.
Right. And who was behind it? What a promoter was behind it that, there was
Only in America.
No, he wasn't behind it. Well, I mean, no, he wasn't. No, he didn't promote
Who
the
was
fight.
the promoter of that fight?
The promoter of the fight was a guy who's passed away, God rest his soul, Lou Falsino, who did Momentum Enterprises. Lou was the real, but he wasn't the one behind it.
Yeah, I was
too.
going to say, does he know what's going on?
No, yeah, but it got back to me.
Somehow a guy
I
from
lost
Youngst-
love. But I lost love for Jay. I lost love for the game. That was the thing. People
Do
say,
you remember the names of all 5 guys? Of course you do.
"Oh yeah."
Tell us.
But well, of course, first loss was to Alexis Arguello,
And for those listening, holy shit, did Alexis Arguello have a right hand?
one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Unbelievable.
Greatest punchers.
And a weird style. Almost stands straight up and down. Very bizarre. Good guard. Very weird.
And very deceptive. Very deceptive. 3 losses and like 2 draws.
I don't have 53 anything.
I was 19-0. They wouldn't.
Alexis Arguello.
Right. Alexis Arguello was the first guy to beat me.
Who else? Just without a story, just give me names.
No. And there was Livingstone Bramble. Beat me twice. Beat me for my title. And then he got the decision in the rematch.
So we beat you twice.
Yeah. Then I came back.
Do you think you got
1980. People thought he was easy to hit. He just slipped and slide a little bit, and he never really got caught. Yeah. And the thing about Alexis, though, I thought I was catching him at the right time. I just because he started steamrolling for me from that fight against Norman Goins. I fought ESPN against Al Ford. I win that fight. It got me my first network fight on CBS, May 16th of '81, and I beat Jorge Kid Dynamite Morales for the NABF lightweight championship, which at that time the 2 minor titles, NABF and USBA titles, meant something. So if you got one of those, you were lying for a title shot.
Right.
So
you knew after beating that Kid Dynamite.
Yeah. Then I defended it one time in July. I fought May. Now this is July, and I defended against Jose Luis Ramirez from Mexico, who's ranked number 3 in the world. And he just got done fighting Alexis, and he lost a 10-round non-title fight in Miami by split decision.
That's Arguello's hometown. So he's fighting in Arguello's backyard.
Right.
So
I thought
it's a real guy you're fighting.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, put it this way: he came to Youngstown, Warren, Ohio, which is the next town over from Youngstown, Warren, Ohio, because he didn't feel it. There was a problem. He had 53 wins at that time. He had 53 wins.